There are many great parts of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, but one of the most underrated aspects is the fan involvement from the manga. The fans love the manga. You're talking to one right now. If you weren't, you would not see this video. But an even more underrated aspect to the JoJo's Bizarre Adventures universe is the light novels within JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Now, some of these light novels or even spin-off mangas have been written by Hirohiko Araki or have major involvement by Hirohiko Araki. If it's not writing, it may be illustrations or something of that degree, but instead, the ones that don't, they still hit too. And some people even consider them like kinda canon, which whatever you consider is what you consider. But today I'm here to talk mainly about the killer light novels that are in JoJo's Bizarre Adventures or are within the JoJo's Bizarre Adventures universe, even though, again, what I'm talking about may or may not be canon. It's either up to you or Araki doesn't have enough involvement. So, up first, Purple Haze Feedback. Purple Haze Feedback is a light novel based around the adventures of Fugos about 6 months after the events of Part 5. And in these adventures, Fugo is visited by Mista, I believe, after being sent for by Giorno, who is now the mob boss. And he's essentially told to come in and he's given a mission to, I think, kill the head of the drug department, because Giorno, he found out his stand was like the drug guy stand. It was like he could turn anything into a drug or something like that. I'm about to go to it. Yes, it was called Manic Depression, which should probably give you all the indication you need to know it's a devastating stand. And within its abilities, Manic Depression has the ability of neurochemical manipulation. Manic Depression is able to increase the biological functions of organisms by piercing them with its thorns. This technique can be used to increase the heart rate, causing it to explode, force irregular stomach digestion, or increase one's physical attributes for a couple minutes, after which the body breaks down. It also has the power to convert salt into a powerful opioid, allowing it to be injected for a drug-like effect. The drawback is that the drug is formed from salt only, and only exists for a total of 2 weeks before reverting back to salt. So if you get addicted to that and you've been shooting up, eventually all that's going to be in your bloodstream is just fucking salt. So obviously Giorno finds that out. He finds out about his stand and he's like, oh yeah, we low-key got to get him out of here now that I'm the mob boss. Let's get him out there. And he sends Fugo to do it. Now, the story is a very great story. We see Fugo develop and we see him actually learn to trust his stand and learn to control, like fully control his stand, to the point where now I'm pretty sure by the end of the story he's not as harmed by it, by being near it, like when it's out and stuff, you know what I mean? Either way, it's a great read, fantastic read. I would highly recommend that. But let's move on to another fantastic JoJo light novel. Up next, we have one of my favorite JoJo light novels ever. It might be my favorite, and it is called Dio Over Heaven. Now, if you do not know what this is, if you have no clue, let me break it down to you. This is a light novel that isn't written by Hirohiko Araki, but it has illustrations from Hirohiko Araki, and it was for JoJo's 25th anniversary, I'm pretty sure. Now, this book essentially is the translation of Dio's diary, and it has so much interesting information about Dio and his character and everything he thinks and all that it's so much of an interesting thing. It's one of the things that made me put personally Dio higher on the villains list, even though it's not necessarily, canon. I consider it to be around such simply because Hirohiko Araki is attached to it. He attached himself to it, and if the author approves, that's good enough for me. But Dio talks about the past and present of his life and describes his ideas and his plans for how he was going to get heaven completely. And this is also where, like I've said this a few times, but this is also where Dio states that he purposely chose bad mothers for his children, so they turn out to be a lot like him, and he was worried that the Joestar blood would override it. And this book is so good. It's basically, the setting is, of course, part 6, and Jotaro, he's in his comatose state, so they're trying to restore Dio's notebook so they can find any way to get him out of it. And they actually end up using Josuke Higashikata to restore the notebook, like the Speedwagon Foundation. They use it to restore the notebook, and it's 80 chapters, very interesting, and it starts off wild. It starts off with Dio literally talking about his mother and his upbringing, with one of the quotes being, "Dio, no matter what happens, live nobly and with pride. If you do that, you'll surely be able to go to heaven." That really interested me, and the whole first chapter is really talking about his parents in heaven. I don't want to go too deep into it. If you're really interested, give it a read. You learn a lot about Dio and his thoughts, and I feel like that's one of the ones where, like, if you want to get into JoJo light novels, definitely got to read it. Now, this last one I really want to like get deep into. I'll talk about a few others in this video, but this is the last one I really want to like spend a good amount of time talking about. Is called Infinity King. It was made for the 35th anniversary of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, so really like 3 or 4 years ago. Came out 2022, and it is centered on Lisa. Now, I want to talk about this because I do not hear that many people bring it up when we talk about light novels. Right here it says, set between the events of Battle Tennessee and Stardust Crusaders in 1973 to 1986, a research group from the Speedwagon Foundation is sent to Guatemala under Lisa's orders to investigate the identity of a serial killer with an unknown power. This investigation leads them to a gang leader who has been using the arrow to amass his own private army. If you have not read this or even picked it up, I haven't got fully through this. It's 300 something pages in a light novel, but I'm pretty sure JoJo magazine has it for like 103 pages for 3-ish arcs. You haven't read it, you should. It's really good. I'm going to give y'all the prologue and then I'm going to leave it here. A document from the Speedwagon Foundation Heritage Committee describes a supernatural power spreading through Latin America. It claims that the 1970s is the end of the age of myths and is a transitional period of when power and authority shifted from gods to kings. Throughout history, there were people who attempted to become gods. One of them sunk to the bottom of the sea, whereas the other was banished to space. Although there are thousands of holy scriptures, more people are starting to become aware of gods being silent. Kings of countries took this as an opportunity to do whatever they wanted, and they acted as tyrants, destroyed civilizations, changed laws, and took land for themselves. Concerning events play out all over the world, even in present, referring to situations such as John F. Kennedy's assassination, the Vietnam War, dysporias, and airline hijackings. It's no longer an era of individuals imitating gods, but rather individual kings vying for supremacy. Society is in the midst of the Third World War, with wars waged by individuals against individuals. Nonetheless, the document doesn't want to get into conspiracies. It aims to record the true stories of events that occurred in Central and South America involving Elizabeth Joestar, also known as Lisa, for the purpose of protecting the heritage of humanity and helping their future descendants live in a new era. And when I tell you, it is so good. It's so good. Like, out of all of them, this is the one I highly recommend. It's one of the most recent. It's fire. It's one of the most recent completed, and it's fire. Now, to end this video off, all I want to say is that there are currently, I believe, there's currently one light novel that is going on for JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, and it's a Rohan versus Josuke with the dog police involved in it, and it is pretty decent so far. I actually do like it. It's called Synchronicity in Morio, and it is about Koichi going and his family going out of town and him asking Rohan to dog sit for him. Rohan does it, and eventually he just wakes up and a full day goes by and he has no memories. Then Josuke's at the house, and that's all I'm going to give y'all because it's only a chapter. It's only a chapter out so far, and it's really good. So I suggest y'all pick up on it now so that when the next chapters do come out, y'all are right there. But in all, if y'all enjoyed this video and y'all enjoyed hearing me talk about light novels, let me know. I might talk about a few more. There are a good amount I missed. If you want to hear me talk about short stories, there's also those, and fan mangas, there's also those. But until next time, peace.